Can you hear me?
Oh, no, it's, I think it catches bugs.
Oh, is it? I thought it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
I thought it's a bigger one, that's why.
No, I think it catches bugs. That light, like, attracts them, and then
It looks like a
you
toilet
pull out
paper.
the little sticky thing at the end, and like, yeah. Quiet today, huh?
Yeah.
Weird.
This is my last one.
Uh-oh.
After hit, I'm not buying any more. Gotta find an alternative. They break real easy.
How you feel from last night? Pretty good? Yeah. That was a lot. It was a lot of...
It was fast.
It was fast. Yeah, it was fast, no doubt. Anything you want to do today? Any postures or body parts you want to mess with? Okay. I'll come up with something. I'm sure it'll all fall in place. All right, let's do it. Take a nice seat. Close the eyes. Sit up tall. Let's take a couple breaths. In our seated position, feel the sit bones root. Feel the outsides of the feet. And take a breath, and then breathe above your waist. All right, so as you take that inhale, you're feeling the upper trunk expand in all directions. So top to bottom, we're getting tall. Right, front to back, you're feeling the chest open up, the belly. You're feeling the upper back start to fill in. We feel the side bodies getting tall here. We feel that like space between our ribs starting to open on the side to side. Let the head and the throat settle back a little bit. You might even want to lean back a touch because we tend to like collapse forward. So if we sit up nice and tall and we feel the shoulders settle back a little bit and we let the head and the throat settle back. Now that feels like a little bit of work. It feels like your belly's having to engage to hold the space. It feels like your head and your throat have to keep sliding back so the upper back is working a lot. That's okay. That's what should be working. And as you hold this space, find the breath. From listening to yourself breathe, to slowing down the beginning of the inhale and pushing more on the end of the exhale, to counting out the breath, all the way to Ujjayi. Where is it that you want to settle into? Bless you. Remember, one not being any better than the other. So if just listening to yourself breathe is where you want to be, awesome. If Ujjayi is where you're playing, same awesome. the breath turns to movement, let the inhale lift the arms. And let the exhale bring the fingertips and the knuckle pads to root as the heels of the hands lightly touch. And as you push your hands together, you should feel that energy run up through the arms, into your shoulders, into your chest and your upper back. And it's like you can lift yourself up even taller. Like imagine there's a string from the heels of your hands to your sternum, your breastplate, right? The center of your chest. And it's lifting you up. And one time together to initiate our practice. Together, the sound of Om. All together. Deep breath in. We softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. Inhale, lift the head, open the eyes, release the hands. Puppy dog. So puppy dog, hips are stacked up on top of your knees, arms are overhead. Take a couple breaths here. And just like we did before, we want to get heavy underneath the fingertips and the knuckle pads. We want the heels of the hands to get light. So as we lift the forearms up and the inner biceps up, you should start to feel that. The heels of the hands are getting light. The root is the fingertips and the knuckle pads. As the inner biceps lift, you should feel your shoulders move out away from your neck. We want that. Now if your forehead's touching the mat, slide it off the mat so you start to work those muscles in the back of the neck. So you feel those muscles in your upper back, your thoracic spine. So think between your shoulder blades, right? Starting to get a little intense there. But pull the shutters closed so the bottom of your ribs pull to the spine. Yeah. Now soften your chest towards the mat a little bit. Yep, and you just make that peel a little better. Next inhale, come up, all fours, hands and knees. Hands an inch or two in front of your shoulders, knees an inch or two behind your hips. Curl your toes. Start to claw into the floor. Hug the hands into the midline. Start to even squeeze your biceps to support that elbow joint. Sweep the inner heels out, hug the shins in. Pull your heels to your butt so you're bringing energy up the legs into the hips. Belly to spine, shutter. So if you're not sure where your shutters are, right here. Shutters want to blow open. You got to close them. Yep, low mountain. Now breathe. This is a pose, right? I always tell you, if I come up to Trina and try to move her, you see she goes nowhere, right? Solid here, low mountain. Yep, one more breath. Then when you're ready, take the right hand behind your head. Inhale, take the elbow to the sky. Exhale, take it across the body to the eye of that left elbow. Yep, let's do 5. Inhale, take the elbow to the sky. Exhale, take it across your body. Now drive that right knee down into the floor as you take the elbow to the sky so that the twist happens above the waist. Right? If the hip moves with us, that's below the waist. And we don't want that. Specifically, we want this to happen in the thoracic spine, that middle upper back. Then after your 5, lower the right hand down, take the left hand behind your head. The inhale, take the elbow to the sky. The exhale is going to take it across the body. 5 on side 2, or whatever balances out your side 1. Nice and slow. Link the breath to movement. So right now, it probably would take you 2 seconds to inhale. That's how long it should take to reach to the sky. 2 seconds to exhale, how long it takes to bring the elbow across the body. That's a long time. In this instance, that's a long time. In life, 2 seconds isn't always that long, right? But right now, 2 seconds is a ton of time because we could do a lot of stuff in that time, adjust a lot of things. And take a couple breaths here. When you're ready, step back to plank. Shoulders are on top of the wrist crease, and we're reaching out of our heels. So if you're not sure what that means, if you look forward, you could see Trina's reaching her heels back. She's in dorsiflexion. Her toes are closer to her shin. Now keep that space, lift the hips, come to downward dog. There will be your downward dog space, because these should link up. Now first downward dog, just bend the knees a little bit. Start to work the upper body. So just like we did before, we're hugging the hands in. We're keeping the forearms and the inner biceps lifting up. We're sliding the head and the throat back so our chin doesn't fall to the middle of the mat. We're pulling belly to spine and shutters closed. Now we're engaging the legs. So we're sweeping the heels out. We're hugging the shins in. We're pulling our heels to our butt, our kneecaps to our waist. So lots of fire in the legs. Now as you push the hands down and forward, take your chest back towards your toenails or towards your shins and make that stretch a little bit deeper. Maybe reach down the back of the legs. And then inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, back to downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, back to downward dog. Keep it going. Nice, nice and slow. Work with the breath. I think this is probably around 4 or so. On your 5th one, let the exhale lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take 3 nice breaths. As you charge those legs, take those shoulders back and then down, and let the back of the heart come forward out of the front of the chest. When you're ready, lower the chest, push up through plank, back to downward dog. Take the right hand to the outside of the left calf or shin. So now for the twist, with the left hand, push it down and forward so you keep your hips going back to where the ceiling and the wall meet at the back of the room. Inhale, unwind, place the hand down, take a breath. When you're ready, left to the outside or right, or whatever your side 2 is. Keep pushing that base hand down and forward, hips going back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Maybe peek under the arm. Inhale, unwind. Next inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. 3 nice breaths. Keep pulling your belly forward to get the space. And then shoulders back and down. After your 3 breaths, back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back, step it through, lunge. So high on your fingertips are your blocks. Front knee is on top of the ankle, in line with that second toe. So the one next to your big toe. Now keep pushing down and hugging in, right? Nice strong foundation. So I'd have my blocks probably for my first lunge, right? And then as you work down, keep the spine long. See, if this is happening, we're not trying to reinforce this, right? We're trying to reinforce this neutral spine. So find where your space is. Now keep the power in the legs. Walk your hands out towards the left, down dog and high lunge. So you're trying to bring your hands towards, your left hand is like 10 o'clock. Your right hand's like 11 o'clock. Your toes on your right foot are pointing to 12 o'clock, straight ahead. Now keep the arms lifting up and then soften the chest down. Now open the knee back out towards the bricks, and there's how you open up that front hip crease. Inhale, come back to center. Place the hands, step back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, lower back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank, back to downward dog. Nice, y'all. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Right, build this up. The foundation, right, is always going to be the legs in these type of poses. Your arms are just like connecting you to the floor. So keep the weight out of your hands and your arms and keep putting it into your legs and then rooting it into your hips. Because now there's an expression, right? We hug in, so we create this foundation, so then we can reach The back heel back and the front knee forward and the crown of the head forward and breathing side to side, right? Organic expansion. One more breath. Then when you're ready, walk your hands towards the inside of that left foot. Now you're going to go left hand 1 o'clock, right hand 2 o'clock. Walk your hands out. We got some room today, so we're kind of moving off the mat a little bit. Then as you soften the chest down, open the knee out just a little bit. Don't let the big toe mound unroot, but just as you open the knee back out to the left, you'll feel that front left hip crease. One more breath. Then walk the hands back in, place the hands, step back, downward dog. When you're ready, inhale, come forward to plank. Yep, work on your breath, not my voice. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, lower back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Nice, y'all. Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, big reach. Belly's in, sit bones are down so that low back is nice and safe. Maybe curl back a little bit. Feel that peel come up through the abdominal wall. So off your pubic bone, belly, up your chest, up your neck, up your arms, up and out of your fingertips. Inhale, come up. Exhale, right hand behind your back, left hand to your elbow. This is going to try to happen this way. Yeah, sacrum back. You might lean forward. That's okay because we're stretching these lats, and that's what's pulling us into that position, right? So when you set yourself up, now push your head back into your forearm, and you can feel like you could stand up a little taller. Yep, and then start to draw the fingers up. Make that stretch a little more intense. Exhale, release. Inhale the arms up. Swap side two. I mean, it starts way at your heels, right? Heels back, inner thighs back, sacrum back, shutters closed. A lot of shit, right? Head and throat back. Yep, and then the arms go back even a little bit deeper. Then exhale, release. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward, half fold, Uttanasana A. And just balance the weight in the feet and charge those legs up real nice. Lots of energy here. And then as you drag your fingers back to you, you're going to feel like your spine pulls forward. Now go ahead and fold into the pose a little bit deeper. If it feels good to stay dynamic, keep doing that. On each inhale, look forward, and each exhale, fold. If it feels better to stay static, stay static. This is making the practice yours, right? Yes, we do this all together, but at the same time, we're on our own trip, right? We got to work what's going to be the best for our bodies. Right hand to the outside of left calf. Left hand to the fingertips, the block, or your hip. Yep. Some of you might even extend it. So if you're going to extend it, you take your right hand and you flip the back of your hand to like the outside of your foot. And then your left hand is going to reach up to the sky. Yep. Yep. Inhale, come back to center, soften down the middle. When you're ready, swap the hands. So left to the outside of right shin, right hand to the fingertips, the block or the hip. And then if you're going to extend it up, you flip the back of the hand to the outside of that right foot and you reach that right hand up to the sky. Maybe you even start to look up the arm. And then inhale, come back to center. Next inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, place the hands, step the right leg back, lunge. So reach out of the heel. Now fire that lunge up, push down in your legs. Work the chakras from root to crown. And then inhale, come up, Virabhadrasana 1 crescent. So crescent just keeps your back heel up. If you're a classic Virabhadrasana, go for it. I like the back heel up because it keeps the low back a little bit safer, a little more neutral. So keep pushing down. Now pull up from your junk. That's root chakra. Then your belly. Then your shutters. Then your heart lifts. Then your throat settles back. Then you look up where your gaze is, where the ceiling and the wall meet. Reach up out of the crown of the head. Now maybe even curl back into the pose as you come forward into that lead knee. One more breath. Nice, y'all. Exhale, hands to the blocks. Flip them up nice and high. Slowly straighten that front leg. Square that right hip forward and down because it's trying to peel away. Now look forward. As the spine gets tall, fold to the inside of that left thigh. Yeah, these look awesome, y'all. Go down a little bit more on this one, a little bit this way. Yeah. Try to go right hip down a little bit more. Yep. Work your spine long here. Yeah. Feel that even changes the pose a little bit because that back line changes. Next inhale, look forward, bend into your lead knee, place your hands down, step forward. Swing the arms up, big reach. Maybe curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Stay with your breath. Inhale, look forward. Yep. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, place the hands, step the left leg back. Lunge. Fire up your lunge, right? That's the foundation. So that when you're ready, inhale, come up, Virabhadrasana crescent, right? We're going to challenge it. We're going to move away, right? That's the idea. That's the organic side of the pose. A bend, a fold, a twist, a reach. But first breath, then foundation, then engagement. Now play with it. Come into the lead knee a little bit. Yep. Reach up through your thumbs. Hug a beach ball like between your forearms so there's lots of energy. And now as you curl back, let the back of the heart keep lifting up through the front of the chest. Yep. One more breath. Now control it as you slowly bring the hands down to the floor. Yeah. And then flip the blocks up to give yourself some space and straighten your front leg. If it's 2 seconds for your breath, that's how long it takes to straighten the leg. To square the hip forward, to peel the spine, right? That's how shit gets real slow. It almost turns into slow motion. And then when you're ready, fold to the inside of the right leg. You're not trying to move slow, you're just trying to stay with your breath. But think about how calm you still are, right? Your heart rate's not up real high. It's up a little bit from before because we're linking poses together now, right? So the breath came up slightly, but it's not, right? It shouldn't be there. It should still be pretty settled. And as you reach out of the back heel, yep, keep dragging that front heel back. Keep reaching forward out of the crown of the head as you fold into the pose. One more breath. Next inhale, look forward, bend into the lead knee, place the hands down, step back, downward dog, move through your vinyasa one time. Nice, y'all, beautiful poses. Take your time. Yep. Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, big reach. That right hand, grab the left wrist, plug that right leg up. Yep. Take that little side bend. We'll start warming up the balance. We're only a couple days off that half moon, so we'll hit that pose today. So the way to get the balance is to adduct, like hug into the midline. Your inner thigh should be super fiery. Inhale, come back up, swap the hand and the foot. You're just plugging up here, right? That's your iliacus. Iliopsoas you hear a lot. This is the plug here. Yep. And take that little, that's what kind of gets it started. And then that psoas takes over to start to flex the hip. Let that hip settle out to the right a little bit as you take that side bend. And then spread your toes and keep hugging into the midline. That's where the balance is going to be. Through the belly, through the upper trunk. Inhale, come up, release the hands in the foot, bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, take a nice big breath, and then take the shoulders back. Maybe even take the hands away from your back. But scapular retraction, which means your shoulder blades are coming to your spine, goes hand in hand with anterior pelvic tilt. So the challenge here is, can you keep the sacrum back, but then you can squeeze the shoulder blades back. So leaning forward, keeping the hinge at the hip crease is going to be the magic here. And then exhale, release. Swing the arms up, take a big reach. Maybe curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Walk your hands out in front of you, a foot or so. Yep. Use your block if you need to get a little more space, and then lift the right leg straight back, come to standing split. Now keep reaching your right heel back to the wall behind you until you feel your left heel get real heavy. You should be able to move your toes on your left foot, but not the ball of your foot. Now you want to stay here, stay here. You want to go to the twist. Right hand stays down, left elbow draws back. Yep. Maybe you start to reach the arm to the sky. Maybe you start to look up. Yes. If you're in the twist, inhale, come back to center. When you're ready, lower that right leg, take a breath. When you're ready, reach the left leg straight back, standing split, side 2. This time you're going to reach your left heel back to your right heel roots. The right heel is how we're going to fire into the glute and get piriformis and glute med to kick on, right? The stabilizers in the pelvis. Then if you're going to work the twist, this time the left hand stays down. The right elbow comes back. The arm maybe reaches to the sky. Then maybe to stress the balance in a positive way, we start to try to look up that arm, right? We just keep moving the edge. Inhale, come back to center. Then lower the left leg. Then walk the hands back in. Sit back as the knees bend. Swing the arms up. Big reach. Sit back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Belly to spine, shutters are closed. Right, look how solid this is. Low back filled in, right? Don't go butt to the sky. It's sit bones down, sit back deeper. Yep, pull your belly in and pull your shutters closed. Sit back deeper. Keep hugging in, one more time. Sit back a little bit deeper, push down, rise up. Awesome, y'all. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back. Downward dog, move through your vinyasa 3 times. It's a pretty nice chair pose you got on camera over there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Keep it slow. And then after your 3, lower your knees, sit back on your heels, take a little break. Child's pose, if that feels good, wherever you want to be. Grab a drink, wipe your face, go back to the breath. Full breath in, complete breath out. All right, when you're ready, inhale, come up. Exhale, hands down. If you're in child's pose, inhale, come up. We'll meet all 4s, hands and knees. And when you're ready, step back to plank, and then we'll meet back in downward dog. Work through one vinyasa. Start to rev it up again. Nice, y'all. You can feel that pace starting to settle a little bit. Right now you're getting into the flow, to be in the flow, right? Anusara. Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Spin the back heel, come up Utthita Parsvakonasana, extended side angle. So bent elbow to bent knee. Left arm can come in front, plug it in, sweep that bicep up along the cheek. Now make sure your front toes are facing straight ahead, 12 o'clock. Back toes slightly turn forward a little bit from parallel with the back of the mat. That'll help root the top of the thigh back. We don't want a side crescent here, right, which is trying to dominate the pose. We're trying to get more to Tadasana. So engage your left side and open up your right. Yep. Maybe the hand goes down to the block or the floor. I know a lot of you like to extend the pose down. Go for it. But bend into that lead knee so it stays up on top of your ankle. Yep. Now pull the belly in and pull the shutters closed. Now we can rotate, take the top of the ribs back and the bottom of the ribs forward. Bicep right along your cheek like this. Yep. Push into your front heel. Inhale, come up tall into warrior 2. Take the palm up, slide back into that reverse warrior. Bend into that lead knee if you drifted back a little bit. Take a nice breath in the right side of the ribs, and then maybe curl back at that peel, nice and deep. Inhale, come back up to that warrior two. Bring the gaze right over the middle finger. There it is. Take one more breath. And then spin the hands down to the floor, spin the back heel up. Downward dog, move through one vinyasa. Right, here's where it's starting to come up a little bit, right? The moment's going to get a little more challenging. Stay with the breath. Work the best that you can be in that moment. From downward dog, take that breath and then reach the left leg straight back. Step it through, lunge, spin the back heel, come up extended side angle, side two. See, we're trying to make a line here. From our foot, right up our leg, right up the side body, right up the arm, right up and out. Keep that right thigh rooting back. It's going to try to come forward, so stick your butt back on the right side. Open the inside of the left thigh by going sit bone to heel or sweeping your heel. This is what we're stretching, right? The adductors. If the hand's going to go down to the block or the floor, go ahead and take it down. Now bend into your lead knee more so it goes right on top of your ankle. Keep bending your knee foot. No, not your foot, just your knee forward. Yeah. One more breath. Push into your front foot. Inhale, come up into that warrior two. Then slowly, remember the 2 or 3 seconds, bring the palm up, and then slowly go back into that reverse warrior. That'll help keep the knee from pulling back. The faster you go, the easier it is to unwind. The slower you go, the more you can hold on to. Big breath on that left side. And then inhale, come back into that warrior two. Not a lot of chill here, right? Bend into that lead knee. The best you got is softening your gaze right over the middle finger. And then spin the hands down to the floor. Spin the back heel up, downward dog. Move through one vinyasa. Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, big reach. Maybe curl back into it. Inhale, come up, exhale, hands in front. So we're going to go triangle into Ardha Chandrasana in the half moon pose, okay? If you're not sure what half moon pose is, it's here. Whoops. All right, so the block would certainly be my friend if I want to lift up a little bit more and get a little more space. Now, the common tendency that I always see in this pose is it goes too far forward. You should not be able to lift up your heel, right? You should be able to do this in almost every pose. We need to have the heel rooted solid, right? Your calcaneus, your heel bone, is the size it is for a reason. It's meant to dissipate weight. Or any of the other bones that size? No, right? So this is meant to do its job. Keep pushing down. So when you come into the pose, the other thing that's going to want to try to happen is this. And then the thigh is going to be forward. And we always go thighs back, right? So when you set yourself up, kick the toes forward a little bit. Then you know the thigh is back, right? Then you can work. Then you can work the pose wherever you want. This is my nemesis pose from the first time I've ever tried it. This pose still gets me, I don't know, 14 years later, right? Still gets me. But that's why I like the shit. Y'all know, most of y'all know me. I do not shy away from the shit that I'm not good at, right? The shit that's what I go for. That's what I teach y'all. I teach the root, right? The mud, the muck. I don't teach the bloom, right? That's not really me. I'm about this, like, get all this set up. So, just put it in perspective. You're about to stand on one leg in external rotation with one arm on the ground and one arm to the sky, and then you're about to look up. So it sounds like it's going to be a little challenging, right? So just honor that moment. So let's go triangle, right leg forward, left leg back. We'll link it. It's nice to link from triangle because you're already in external rotation. You don't want to go in Ardha Chandrasana from this and pull the hip back. That's not good in the inside of the hip. As a matter of fact, when you want to strengthen the hip, we work from here this way, not this way, right? So we want to build this up in a good way. So take the arms up. Get the side bodies tall because we always crunch in here. So get this lifted up because this is where we're about to move into. Then when you're ready, hinge at the right side of the hip. See, that's why we needed this open. Otherwise, where are we going to go into? Hand goes to the block or the floor. Inside the foot will be a little more accessible. Outside the foot might be a little more challenging. One's not right and one's not wrong. This is what feels good to you. Now, keep pushing down the big toe mound. Keep your left ear reaching up to the sky so your head isn't hanging to the floor. Belly's in, shutters are closed, and try to rotate open that little bit. Maybe look up, start to prep the balance. Yes. Now exhale the hand to the hip, bend your front knee. You're either going to kick up or drag that back leg forward as you come into half moon pose. Dragging the back leg will pull more power, more stability. Kicking up is going to challenge the balance a little more way. Now remember the heel, keep the right heel heavy so the toes could move if you wanted them to. Kick the back toes forward a little bit. Yep. Now lengthen right sit bone to right heel and we start opening out. Yes. Maybe look up. Yes. One more breath. Now inhale, lower that left leg, come to standing split. Yep. Next inhale, look forward. Yep. And then fold over that right leg, reach the left heel to the sky. Yep, big opener. And then exhale, lower that left leg, walk the hands back in, sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, big reach. Curl back maybe. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands in front. That looked awesome. How'd that feel? Pretty good? Made sense? Come on, try side two. Left leg forward, right leg back, triangle. Get nice and tall here. Then when you're ready, hinge at the left side of the hip. Bring the hand down to the block or the floor. Then push the big toe mound down to re-root. Keep the top of that right thigh rooting back, just like we did in Parsville before. So like your right butt cheek should be reaching to the wall with the window and the door. Your left sit bone should be lengthening down towards like your left heel. Then in the upper body, belly to spine, shutters are closed. Start to rotate, top of ribs back and bottom of the ribs forward. Maybe look up. And then when you're ready, exhale the hand to the hip, bend that front knee, kick up into half moon pose. Yes. Now play with the pose. From the root and the foundation, build it up. Maybe start to open as you take the sit bone down to the heel. It's like your junk and your chest are facing the brick wall over here. Maybe look up and really take that balance somewhere. Now take a breath, lower that right hip, come to that standing split. So lower that right arm, then inhale, look forward, and then exhale, fold over that left leg, right heel to the sky, big opener in the back of that left leg. Then lower the right leg down, walk the hands back in, sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, big reach. Maybe curl back. Nice, y'all. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back, downward dog. Move through your vinyasa one time. Awesome, crew. Roll to the outside of the right foot, stack the left foot on top or in front, come into side plank. Turn the bicep forward. That's how you're going to root into the upper back. Push out of the big toe mound so you're going to fire into the hip. Yep. Maybe take that top arm, reach towards the front of the room. Feel that side body peel on that left. And then inhale, come back to plank. Keep it calm. It's one of those hard moments. Stay with it. Push back, downward dog. Take the breath. Roll to the outside of the left foot. Stack the right foot on top or in front. Remember, when you integrate into the upper back, you get the friends in the game. It's going to be a lot easier to hold ourselves up. Maybe take that right arm up overhead. Yeah, feel that right side body peel. Next inhale, come back to plank. Push back, downward dog. Work through one vinyasa. All right, honor that moment. It's challenging, and then just dive in. Do the best that you can in that moment. Take your feet wide, walk your hands back, come to squat pose, Malasana. If you feel like your heels don't root, just roll up the blanket or the back of your mat, and you just put your heels on the blanket like this. And that'll give you a little more space to be able to settle into. So I tell you all the time, like, you know, these are progressions to your practice, right? Not regressions. When you use the tools, it's so that you could bring out a better pose. This is how I taught myself to get my feet a little bit squarer, right? Instead of them being out like this, I taught myself by coming back up to the blanket, right? And that kind of, you really want your knees to track your toes, but that taught me how to get myself a little more square here instead of being so open, right? Because what happens when we're open, this is going to be for everybody. See how my arches want to collapse? So you want to roll a little bit, lift those arches up, bring a little bit of weight to the outer edge of the foot. Then you want to hug your knees in first because we got to engage groins and adductors before we stretch them. Then we can push our elbows out and get that nice stretch. Then gently drive your elbows down into your knees, and you can start to work the upper back a little bit here. Yep. Now some of you are going to want to stay here. Some of you are going to want to play with the crow. You can lift up, place your hands down. Knees right now are on the outside of my arms. You can stack them on the back of your knees on the back of your arms if you want, but here I like them on the outside, coming from Malasana. Then walk your feet together so your big toe mounts touch. Then as you bend your elbows, you're lowering down, your feet are going to get light. Then pull your heels to your butt and push your hands down into the floor. Right? We did some one-legged stuff today. So then you're going to go like this. You're going to shift the weight over to the one side, release the leg, kick it back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Come back in, shift over to side two, release the other leg. Where the ceiling and the wall meet, back in. You want to kick to where the ceiling and the wall meet, kick higher. You kicked back, kick up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Yes, 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 yes. That's the idea. Because you see, like, look at my angle. When I'm on the angle, see how I got to get low here to go this way? If I go this way, it pulls me down. Yeah, yeah. And then I've said to y'all in the past, like, if you've never done that pose, trying to extend out of the heel is probably going to be a lot. Right? So what you do is you set yourself up, and all you do is release the leg. Okay, I got that. Okay, I'm working on that. Then I could be like, okay, release the leg. Okay, now I got a little bit of a kickback, and then build up to it, right? So because you're going to learn something, and you're going to build something up with each one of those progressions, right? And that's the trip, right? That's the best part. That's you getting there, right? That yoga made that fun. In some other shit, getting there is a real pain in the ass, right? But in yoga, nice. It's meant to be fun, right? The whole way. So when you're ready, let's come up. All fours, hands and knees. We'll meet in all fours. And then we'll meet back in plank. Okay, 10 breaths, okay, in plank. 10 nice breaths. Shoulders are on top of your wrist crease, and you're reaching out of your heels. So if your feet are straight up and down, you're actually a little too long here. You'd want to tiptoe forward and reach your heels back. Right, so you feel how you adjust at that length? When you go to Chaturanga, that's when you would bring your feet forward. Yeah. Yeah. See, what we want here is to reach out of the heels and plank, because when we go to Chaturanga, we're going to come forward in our feet. That's the space that you would need for Chaturanga, right, to keep the forearm straight up and down. That's why the whole thing has to kind of flow. After your 10 breaths, lower to your bellies. Did I forget to tell you that part? Yeah. You were all right, right? You were all right. I watched you. It was beautiful. Right hand underneath your chest, bend your left knee, reach back for the quad stretch. Hug in, adduct, so hug to the midline. Then belly to spine and pubic bone into the yoga mat, so junk to the yoga mat. Now pull the heel to the sit bone. Keep hugging those knees into the midline. Don't let the knees splay out to the side. And don't just pull the heel to the sit bone, neutralize the pelvis. That action was belly to spine, pubic bone to the mat. And then watch the boing as you release, swap into side two. So your front arm, it is actually doing an action. It's not just hanging there, right? In Cobra, when our hands are here, we pull them back to us, right? It's the same thing your forearm's doing. Your arm should be pulling back to your waist. And as it does that, it pulls your belly forward, help clear your lumbar spine. Then when you go belly to spine, pubic bone to the mat, there's lots of space back here. And then the heel to the sit bone is the last part of the pose. It's easy to think that's the first part because we reach back and grab it, right? But really, we got to get our pelvis neutral. And then watch the boing as you release. All right, place the hands middle of the chest. So nipple line and take the shoulders back. Then curl your toes, charge your legs up, fire that core. When you're ready, push up the chaturanga and take a full breath. Then push up the plank and take a full breath. Then push back to downward dog. Nice, y'all. Right, something else. Not easy, but getting easier, right? That we've been working on there for a little while, those pushes. Work through one vinyasa. Where are we? Okay. I gotta get the back of the hip. Reach the right leg straight back, step it through, pigeon. So take that right knee nice and wide to the right edge of your mat. Left knee is going to be in line with the left hip. Our pubic bone, our junk should be lifting up off the mat. And the way you do that is you push your knee down. Well, you work from your foot, really. Like you're pushing out of your big toe mound and pulling the pinky toe side of the foot back on that right foot. Then in your knee, you're pushing it down and pulling it back to you. In your back knee, you're pushing it down and pulling it forward to you. And see how like lifted up Trina is, right? So you can hold the space. Then if you want to go, right, even hands off the floor. That's how much power is in the foundation. A shit ton of power. Then when you're ready, breathe up, because I know a lot of you like to fold, and then go ahead and fold into the pose. If you want to stay up in the prep, stay up in the prep. Not a right or wrong, right, scenario. It's just what feels better to you in your body. All right, keep that out of your lumbar spine and put it in your thoracic spine more. So you okay with the touch? This has to open up. Yeah, and the back bend has to happen here. You feel that? And it'd be like there's a string here. We're going this way, up and back. You feel that? Mm-hmm. You feel as it comes out of your lumbar a little bit more? Because that's going to be an easy place to dump into. And you don't want that, right? You want that back bend up top. That's awesome. And that's a super deep pose for you. So if you work that upper back a little more, dude, there'd be tons of stuff you could do out of that. Inhale, come up, place the hands, take a breath. Lift the hips, unwind that right leg, reach it back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Now keep the leg up. Then inhale, come forward to plank with the leg up. Then push back to downward dog. Let's do that 5 times total, so 4 more. If you want to hit a chaturanga with the one leg up, go for it. It's a little challenge in supporting the hip. If it feels good to just go back and forth with the leg, go back and forth. And then after your 5th one, take the breath, lower the right leg down. Take another breath, reach the left leg straight back, step it through, pigeon side 2. Work on your breath though, not my voice. I'm always ahead of you, right? So just take your time. So this time the left knee goes nice and wide to the left edge of your mat, and your right knee goes in line with the hip. Then work from that left. So what I mean in the foot is, it wants to do this. It wants to like sickle, like this, right? Like here. And we needed to go this way. Push out of the big toe mound and pull the pinky toe side of the foot. So I'm just trying to get to Tadasana instead of this, right? I want to go this way. You should be able to take your hand and it should fit underneath your ankle. What wants to happen? The outside of the ankle wants to blow into the floor, right? Push the big toe mound out. And then hug in. Shit's getting real, right? Yeah. And then fold. I know, I told y'all in the past, I used to think this was the hangout pose at the 3/4 mark, right? Like, oh, I love that pose where we just kind of lay on the floor and our legs out to the side, right? Then I really learned how to do pigeon. And I found out that it's just driven by muscle energy. Yeah, the organic energy is you're opening up the back of the hip on that left side, down the back of the leg. Yeah, that feels great. I'm in a fold, right? But there's a lot of stability that has to be created to hold that space. I was joking last night that, like, you know, this is like our studio pose, right? It's one of those poses we're known for here. We got those big, strong, lifted up pigeons. And that's from the work you all do, right? You teach yourself this action, you strengthen it up, and then we get to play with it. Inhale, come up, place the hands. When you're ready, lift the hips, reach that left leg back to where the ceiling and the wall meet, and then take a breath. When you're ready, come forward with the leg up, and then back. Yep. So when you go back, it's like where the ceiling and the wall meet, you're reaching. And then if you want to hit the chaturangas, hit the chaturangas with the one leg up. Keep the bellies in, though. Nice, y'all. And then after your 5, when you're done, lower that left leg. From downward dog, look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, take a nice big reach. Curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands in front. All right, grab your mats, find a spot on the wall, go upside down. You know you could use up all the space, so go up front, move the curtains to the door over here. If you want me to move the blankets, we can. If you're gonna do downward dog or L pose, you could work underneath the lights. You're gonna kick up into handstand, just give yourself that space. If you're at home and you don't have the wall to kick up on, you can always lay on your back. Knees are bent. Interlace your hands behind your thigh as you reach the heel to the sky and take a bunch of breaths. And then you can swap into side 2. If you are at home or in the studio and it's not your day to invert, you know you're always welcome to go legs up the wall or do a pose that feels good to you. Okay? Trina's going to be walking around, so if you have any questions, grab her right away. I'm going to talk you into downward dog and L pose, and then once I get you up, I'll come around as well. If you would like to do downward dog, handstand, headstand, tripod, pinch a Maya, any of those, and work on your own, go for it. Some of you want to work in the middle of the room, you're always welcome to. Okay, so if you feel more comfortable in the middle of the room, go for it. You're going to work on your own whenever you're ready. If you're going to stick with me, let's meet all 4s, hands and knees. Feet are touching the wall. And then from the all 4s, set it up nice and solid. When you're ready, lift the knees and the hips, come to a short downward dog. If you're comfortable, step 1 foot up the wall, and you're still comfortable, step the 2nd foot up the wall. Now, with your knees bent, you'll be in downward dog inverted. With your legs straight, you'll be in L pose. We played with the split today. So maybe in L pose, some of you will take the one leg up to the sky and hit that split in L pose. Yep. And then you lower that leg to the wall, you take a breath, maybe you lift side 2. Yep. And then you lower it down and you play with whatever feels good to you. If you're ready to come down, you give yourself a break, maybe you try again. So there's a little momentum in that. Once you start going, go for it. Don't try to lower it down so slow. Go for it. Like once you kind of get going in the twist, go for it. Controlled, of course, but yeah, now once you get it, then the challenge would be how slow can you go, right? But because you can control momentum. So use the momentum. That's where I always say, if you can manipulate something and control it, go for it. If you can't control it, then we don't want to manipulate. But you can manipulate, you can use that.
As I'm coming down, looking forward, looking up.
You don't really look up till the knees are on the outside of the arm. And then you're coming back up in the pose. Because remember, first you got to get that twist. And then you're hitting side crow, then you're coming up from side crow. But yeah, I think just kind of go for it. That's what helped me in the pose. I was trying to go so slow, and then finally I was like, no, just kind of work into it. And then it all kind of came around. Now, once you start coming down, and then when the twist happens, go for it. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. Just look forward more. So all I saw in that was you didn't look forward, and the weight came back instead of going that. But dude, that was it. That was it. And it looked super controlled. It looked like you were right on top of it. You know? It was beautiful. You know, about another minute or so. Take your time. Play around with it. Right? Remember what the challenge is. Can you be calm, cool, and collected, right? Even when you're ass overhead. That's the challenge. And then what happens when you get downward dog and elbows? Then handstand. Then you see some of these other ones all the way to like twisting in the inversions, right? Like it's never going to stop. There's always going to be something else to play with. Yup. Yes. Yes. A little bit better. It looks really controlled, so I think that's a good move for you for sure. Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, see that? Yeah, get that feeling. Yes. Yes.
All right, we're about inverted out. We're ready to move on. Okay, let's go downward dog facing the middle of the room. We're going to hit wild thing. All right? I played with that last night with some of y'all, so you can take it all different kinds of places. Okay? Yeah, yeah, yep. So I like to show y'all wild thing when we're against a wall like this, because the idea is if you had something to push on, right, you get, it's called force feedback. That's push down, rise up, right? Root to rise. The more you push down, the more you're going to come up, right? So that's how you can get that feeling. We did it with this, right? We push back, and then we can kind of lift up from that space, right? You're getting the force feedback. So when you're in your wild thing, if you want, you can back yourself up to the wall. So when I go into my side plank now, I can push into the wall. Right now I got a lot more power. Same thing in wild thing. When I step my foot back, now this foot, I could keep pushing down. And then I'm going to get to lift all this up. Then I could curl back, right? And then when I come back out of it, I could use this wall to help me learn how to come back to that side plank, back to plank, right? Back to downward dog, which is how I usually take you all in and out. I usually ask you to unwind it, right? Because that's just a whole nother challenge. That goes with the accelerate, decelerate, stabilize shit I always talk about, right? You got to be able to start it, you got to be able to stop it, and you got to be able to hold it. And that's the play, right? So come on, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. So now let's say you don't want to use the wall. You do wild thing in the middle of the floor, you feel comfortable. Move forward on your mat. You want to use the wall, move back on your mat so your feet touch the wall. So it'll be something for everybody, right? Wherever you want to be. So we'll start in that downward dog. And we're going to take a couple breaths, right? Maybe we pedal the heels or we swivel the hips. We start to rev the engine back up again. And then come to neutral. All right, here we go. Roll to the outside of the right foot, stack the left foot on top or in front, come into side plank. Yep. Turn the bicep forward like we did before, charge the legs. Now spread the toes, lift your left leg up, bend the knee, and slowly step it behind you. Yes. Now push down into your feet, into your legs, and now curl into your upper back. Reach that arm overhead like you're reaching to the person across from you. Yep. Now soften your face, settle the moment. Now here we go. Inhale, come back to side plank. It's power. Yes. Then come back to plank. Then push back to downward dog. Take a breath. Roll to the outside of the left foot. Stack the right foot on top or in front. Get the friends in the game. Then spread the toe on the right foot, the toes on the right foot. Lift the leg and slowly step it behind you. Yup. Then refire into the legs, up through the core, and then express the pose. Reach overhead and then settle the pose. Soften into it, soften your face. Yep, but now fire it back up. Inhale, come back to that side plank. Yep, and then back to plank. And then as you push back to downward dog, bend your knees real deep here. Yeah, we want a neutral forward fold here to kind of balance out that back bend. One more breath. You know what? Let's do this. Be careful if you're near the wall. Reach the right leg straight back. Come forward, right knee to left elbow. Kick the leg out to the side. Lower to the hip. Come the Bridget's cross. While we got the space today, let's hit this. Yep. So your right leg is out towards the left. Your upper body, now we're in the twist. Your upper body, you want to root into the hip, and then you want to breathe up, right? Because this is below the waist. This is above the waist. Now I go ahead and fold into the pose. You stay up.
There'll be no folding.
Yeah. Oh, it goes even further, right? So right now you're like, holy shit, this is happening, right? Here's some more holy shit. It gets even better. So now you go TP the fingers on your right hand, and you're going to thread your left hand underneath. Yeah. Okay, Nat, check this out. Squeeze on me. Squeeze in. That. Okay, use that now to build this up. Yes. Keep hugging, keep hugging, keep hugging, keep hugging. Yes. You feel how that changes the pose? So see what we're working here? I'm pushing out on the legs so she can hug in. The power in the legs builds the spine up, and now even deeper in the shoulders actually on the mat. That's awesome. Inhale, unwind. Place the hands. Yep. Lift the hips. Unwind that leg. Reach it back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Just take a breath. Yep. And then lower it down. All right. Take a breath here. Reach the left leg straight back or whatever your side two is. You come forward. Left knee to right elbow. Kick the leg out to the side. Lower to the hip. See, the action is I want to scissor like this way first, because that's going to give me the hug in. Then I want to reach my legs out. That's what we were doing over here together. Then reach up out of the waist and then fold into the pose. And then something for everybody, right? It's just where you want to be in the moment. And one's never better than the other, right? It's wherever you want to play. Then TP the fingers on that left hand, and then as the right hand threads underneath, we take that twist even further.
It's like that same feeling as Malasana, where you're like squeezing in to get the space.
Yes, yeah. Because what's first, in or out? Always. In, right? In is how you're going to, because it goes breath, foundation, engagement, expression, right? The engagement is the muscle energy. The expression is the organic energy. The organic, remember, being the twist, the fold, the bend, the reach, whatever it is. And then if you're in the twist, inhale, unwind. Yep. Wherever you're at, come to neutral. Then lift the hips and unwind that left leg back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. And then lower the leg down, lower your knees. Spin around to a seated position and then lay back. Nice, y'all. Fun little pose we don't get a chance to do all the time, but since we got the space, let's go for it. So first thing, take the arms up overhead, reach the legs out, take a nice stretch here. Spread the fingers, spread the toes, right? Feel all that space you just made. And then hug the knees to your chest. Give yourself a little hug. Make a couple small circles on the low back. And then come to neutral. Keep your knees bent, lower your feet to the floor. Inhale your right leg up, cross it nice and tight over your left. Hips are going to go to the right, knees are going to go to the left. Right shoulder stays rooted down. So the first action here is hugging your knees to your chest, right? It's putting that flexion into the hip. That's then going to let the sit bone reach down or away from you. Then breathe up above the waist. Pull the belly and the shutters in, right? So the shutters are closed here. And then we can rotate, keep that right shoulder nice and deep, rooting into the mat. You can look towards the right if you want. If you have any neck issues, you just keep our neck in line with our chest. But if you want to start to peek away from the bent knee, you certainly can. And then inhale, come back to center. Scoot yourself back to the middle as you unwind the legs. When you're ready, inhale left up, cross it nice and tight over the right one. And then as the hips go to the left a little bit, the knees fall towards the right. And then keep breathing up so the spine keeps lengthening. With the belly and the shutters closed, that's how we're going to rotate the spine. It's real easy here to kind of manipulate your shoulder blade, like squeeze your shoulder blade back into the mat. We're not looking for that. We're actually looking to twist our spine. That's obliques and spinal erectors, right? As compared to just using your rhomboid, the muscle between your shoulder blades, to just crank your shoulder blade back. We want to get that nice twist. And I talk about that to y'all all the time, right? Twisting is so much more important than parallel parking, right? Like, this is like shit that keeps your body working properly. And then inhale, come back to center, unwind the legs, reach the legs out, reach the arms up overhead, take that big stretch. Spread the fingers, spread those toes. Then hug your knees to your chest, rock yourself up. Sit up nice and tall, bring your feet together. Baddha Konasana. I think back in the day, what do they call this in Sanskrit? In gym it was butterfly, but like is it butterfly in Sanskrit? Like is it English, is butterfly? Yeah, what's the English for it?
Oh, bounding.
Is it bounding? Yeah. I know it's not butterfly. That's what I do know, right? But you knew this as butterfly your whole life, right? So, bound angle, yeah. So sit up nice and tall. Now there's a trick here, right? The trick is to push your feet together and then draw your hands in towards your feet. And what you're going to do is you're going to engage the insides of the thighs like we talked about, right? We got to hug in first, but you're going to get your spine to come up tall. Yeah. Now gently let the knees settle. You can even hinge at the hip crease like you're folding forward. But chest goes first. What wants to go first? Your chin, right? And then this happens. We don't want this way. And then the chest comes down. It will lessen the fold for sure. The range of motion will change. It will not be as deep if your chin stays back, but that's alignment. Now, if this is tough for you, you sit up on the blanket, and then you could tilt off the edge of the blanket. It'll help lift that low back in and up. Yep, it'll make the fold a little more efficient. And then inhale, come up. Take the legs out straight, lay flat back. One more time, take those arms up overhead, reach those legs out, take that stretch, right? You want to feel all that space that you made. That was all the work, right? We leave a little taller, a little decompressed. And when you're ready, hug your knees to your chest, then take your knees wide, come to happy baby. The knees are wider than your shoulders. Sacrum stays flat. And then as we draw those knees towards our ears, we get that nice opener inside the thighs and in the back of the hip. Then you could go back of the legs by reaching the heels up to the sky, so straightening the legs. And you could rock side to side. You could reach one leg out, both legs out, whatever feels good. And when you're ready, inhale the knees to center. Exhale the legs out straight. We'll take Shavasana. Beautiful practice, crew. Feel free to add or remove layers or props. I'm going to talk everyone through laying flat, but you know you're more than welcome to do a variation or something that feels good to you. If you want to go to Supta Baddha Konasana, where you're laying back and the knees are out to the side, you could see Trina set that up front if you're not sure what that is. Put the blocks on the outsides of the thighs like that. That'll take the stress off the attachment so they're not just hanging there. You could also go block or blanket behind the knees, heart bench, whatever feels good. And then here as we lay back, let the legs stretch out and the feet gently roll open. We let the arms come along the sides, the shoulders settle back, the open palm to the sky. Our head rests back, maybe our eyes close, and our tongue softens from the roof of the mouth. As we feel our body getting heavy, we're letting go. In our practice, we talked a lot about the muscle energy and the power and how we're holding the space. Here, we release. The mind turns back to the breath as each exhale clears and removes and makes space, and each inhale draws in something new. The heart opens as it gets ready to move the practice into the yoga of life. The heart will bring us back to the mat to practice again. Because there's so much more that we learn in our practice than just our asana, our poses. Because the yoga never stops. It just manifests in a new place, in a new way. Always working from our breath, and setting foundations and engaging, so when we express, the best that we can in that moment. Begin here to draw in a deeper breath. As the breath washes over the body, from your toes to your fingers, to the crown of your head, to your heart, reawakening that better version of yourself. The fingers and the toes wiggle, the arms and the legs stretch or reach, move in a way that feels good to you. When you're ready, you can hug your knees to your chest and just roll to the right side. Take a breath or two here. And when you're ready, you can push your hands down, come up to a seated position. We'll meet together with our eyes closed, and our hands in front of our hearts. The place we started, the place we practice, the place we finish. And how we always move the yoga from the mat to the steps of our life. It's with that full, open, empowered, strengthened heart. One more time together to seal in our practice. Together, the sound of Om. All together, deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts, our hearts to each other's hearts. For all of that hard work, that determination, that challenge, the love and the support you always give each other, it's to you that I bow. Namaste. Good. Good to see you. Super fun as always. Thank you, Trina, home crew. You all know if you need us, grab us before you go. Hopefully I'll see some of y'all next week. If not, I'll see you soon. Home crew, you know if you need me, hit me up. Thanks, y'all. You're welcome.
Any tips in grow? Like, I just feel like the skin, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's like